Yeah, Car Seat Headrest. So I picked Car Seat Headrest is Twin Fantasy. Um, and I've kind of had this album like on my list to listen to. I've always known that it was like considered great. I never really knew why. I just kind of tossed it on one day and I listened to it and it was awesome. And I was like, oh, cool. And then I Googled it and I was like, whoa, like what the heck? There's this like whole like history and lore. And like this album has been like recorded twice and there's like two different versions up there. And then like it was like an early like Bandcamp like album, I guess. So yeah, I just kind of dove into the story behind this album and listened to it a little bit more. And it's cool because there's two different versions of this album that exist. The first album came out in 2011. And I think that's known as Mirror to Mirror now, right? I think somebody on this call will know more than me, but so feel free to feel free to jump in and correct me if I'm not telling the story right. But yeah, he recorded this, and the first version of this album is super like stripped down, and it's like a lot of it's acoustic and just kind of you can just tell it's just like basic recording techniques and but what really like comes through is the main guy who I can't remember. Sorry,
Will
Tim. What's the
Toledo.
guy's name?
Will Toledo.
Will Toledo. He's from DC,
He's from
DC area,
Virginia. Yeah.
Virginia,
He's
DMV area.
the
Close
south
enough.
part.
It's Leesburg to any locals here, any DMV locals. I saw that and I was like, wait, what the anyway. But what really shines through is his just kind of passion and these like super intense and personal lyrics um, that like really just shine through this album and make it it makes you feel you go through a lot of emotions listening to this album and the new version I think is I don't know when I heard that there were two versions I was kind of like oh like the new version is probably not that good why would they re-release the new version is awesome the new version adds a ton of just like layered instrumentals some guitar parts and it really kind of ties everything together it's a little bit more accessible I think it's probably the version I'm going to listen to the more moving forward. Um, so anyway, yeah, just super cool. I know there's a ton to say about this album, and like each song is super epic and has these like amazing like just personal lyrics about love and addiction and like finding the one for you and just life and just a great album to listen to all the way through. Um, Yeah, I'm probably going to think of more things to say, but I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. There's so much to get into on this album. Um, so yeah, I'll toss it over to you guys.
So I found this album around the same time that I found In the Airplane Over the Sea, and they have a very similar place in my heart. But In the Airplane Over the Sea is the Anne Frank time travel album that changes your life, and this is the gay furry album that changes your life. I Will Toledo he wrote this album. He was, a closeted queer teen, who was just absolutely like I don't know how much of this is actually real, but the conceit of it is, he was in love with, one of his classmates, right? And he couldn't tell any of his friends about it because he lived in Virginia, lived in the South, and he like idealized this person, and he like wanted to become one with him, which is like what the album cover is, like the two, wolves that are like emerging to each other, and twin fantasy. Like there are these lyrics where he's like, I had a dream that you had eaten me, and like I am a like a cultist to you. And he finds out like the feelings aren't reciprocated. He idealizes this relationship that he has in his mind, and he finds out like this guy doesn't like me like I love him. And it's hard, it's absolutely fucking heartbreaking. Like this album is one of the most, I don't know, it's like I've never been in this kind of situation in my life before, but I can feel myself as a 17-year-old kid, which when he recorded this album, he was 17 years old, like, which is amazing. this is such an incredible album for a fucking teenager to write. And it's like there is so much raw emotion, that I feel like I can put myself in this situation of this like obsessive kid who has this unrequited love, and he just can't get over it. And it's, I don't know, it's an amazing album. I love this album so much. Um, and I was just listening to Igor by Tyler, and I feel like there's a lot of parallels between Igor and this album. It's a queer relationship. It's not a very healthy relationship, and it's both of them like learning how to recover and heal from this awful like self-destructive hole that they've gotten themselves into. And like Igor is one of my favorite albums of all time, and so is this one. And I can't say that I've ever been in the situations that either Will Toledo or Tyler have been in, but I can feel like I can put myself in their shoes just because of how much they put themselves out there. I could talk a lot about this album. I fucking love this album.
That was Tim. That was beautiful. You said that. You said that very well.
Yeah, the Igor comparison is true. I never thought about that, but it is like the same kind of situation, and they have kind of the same like very bitter feelings about it, like bitter kind of self-deprecating feelings about it. It's interesting.
Yeah, so I didn't know this was the like his first. I guess this is like his first release technically. I just saw that it came out in 2018 on my phone. It just had the time, and I was like, oh, guess this one came out in 2018, but I was wrong. But I listened to. I was telling the other guys I listened to like Teens of Denial, and when that was getting popular a couple years ago, and I remember like I feel like whenever I heard it, I would either like really like it or really not. So I never really like went back to listening to it. But listening to this album, I was like, wow, this one is definitely my favorite. It is like from front to back, it's so I don't know, it's so well crafted and personal. It's powerful. Yeah, I also have a fun fact that the only fun fact I really know, I don't know as much as Tim about Car Seat Headrest, but I do know why it's called Car Seat Headrest, because he would write his songs or play his songs in the back seat of a car. And I'm guessing if he was trying to think of a name and he saw the back of the car seat headrest.
It's like a perfect indie band name.
Yeah.
It's like perfect.
Yeah. I don't know if this is totally true, but I kind of remember reading about this, but I guess he was like kind of shy, kind of playing when he was young, I'm guessing. And he was like, that was the only place he could really practice or play, probably in the back of a car. So I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I remember. So.
Well, I saw him live once, and he was still like, he never looked the audience in the eye. Like I saw him at Lollapalooza.
Was he wearing the fursuit?
Sorry?
Was he wearing the fursuit?
No, I think he was just wearing like a white t-shirt.
Okay.
This was in like 2019 maybe, so pretty recently. He wasn't, yeah, but he seemed super quiet and shy still. But they were so good. They were really good. Yeah, it was interesting to listen to the original and then listen to the new one, because I wanted to compare them. And really the only difference is that they made it better. Like they just added more like layering and it just like better production, better mastering and mixing and stuff. But they really didn't change much. This is my fun fact. When I was looking for the differences, some of the lyrics are changed. And specifically on Cute Thing, which is a great song, the references are changed to be like more to the times. So like the original lyrics of Cute Thing have 2011 references to like musicians and stuff. and then the 2018 version, like he says, Frank Ocean. And there are more 2018 references. So that was interesting. All the little details are thought of in the changes between the versions, for sure.
It's so interesting to like listen to both. Did you guys all get a chance to listen to both? Tim, I'm sure you have.
I like the
Multiple
original
times.
one better.
Yeah.
I think he recorded on a Nintendo DS microphone. It sounds so shitty, but it's like it's so raw.
It is
Like,
so
I don't
raw.
know.
It's just like super interesting. I listened to the 2018 version first, which I'm kicking myself. I wish I listened to the 2011 version first, but
Yeah, sometimes when you listen to something, like and like a different version comes out, like you can't really unhear the one you know or something.
Yeah.
That happens to me a lot when if I listen to like a demo before like a song comes out. Sometimes it just ruins it. I kind of hate it though when that happens.
yeah, I think this is interesting because I normally would be like, oh, the original one is way better. You know, that would totally be. But um, it's just I think they did a good job with this because it does add that more professional edge, more instrumentals, just better production, and I don't think it takes away from it, from the meaning.
Is it all
But
like
the rawness of the first one is still like that will never be replicated. So
Yeah. Yeah, Matt, it's all re-recorded.
oh, it's all re-recorded? Wow.
yeah, they re-recorded everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the vocals on the first one are like really very different too.
Very rough.
Yeah.
I mean, he sounds like he's 17. He sounds like a teenager.
Yeah.
I found this breakdown of it. I watched this when it first came out, but if y'all are interested, there's a breakdown of the actual album itself and
Oh, nice.
the meaning and the symbology, and
Oh, cool.
Well,
God, I fucking love this album.
It is amazing, and I love how like long the songs are, and like just like they're just epic. They're just like epic songs that each tell this like complete story with like mood changes and within the songs, and it's so cool. It's so good. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.